I'll start by introducing myself. My name's Stuart Mayer. I'm the head of product at ShipServ, and myself and my colleague Liam, who's one of my superstar product managers covering marketplace and BI solutions. We're going to be talking to you about some new developments that we have recently released and that we're working on at ShipServ. Okay, so a very quick corporate intro. This is actually a screenshot of our headquarters in Chiswick. We don't have the whole place, obviously, just a small slice of it. It's a nice spot. Our mission at ShipServ is to drive the transformation of the maritime supply chain through digitization, data insights, efficiencies, and communications improvements. So, obviously does that actually really mean? What do we really do? For our customers, we have customers on both the buyer side and on the supplier side of the procurement chain. So for our buyers, one of the key things that we do is we help them to optimize their supplier base, to help them to concentrate their spend, but with the best suppliers within the marine industry. Similarly, we also help them with tactical sourcing, helping them to find suppliers when they're in a bit of a bind. All of our products are covered by a very comprehensive monitoring and analytics suite, and really the sort of core what a lot of you will know ShipServ for is process automation, sort of moving those documents between buyers and suppliers efficiently through the internet. On the supplier side, we help with lead generation, as suppliers would like to try to win new customers. So our technologies help them to win new customers from our buyer community. Particularly important for manufacturers, brand awareness and brand management, helping manufacturers to raise awareness of their brand, but also manage how that brand is actually represented within the marketplace as well. Conversely, with process automation on the buy side, we also help with transaction efficiency, and that's going to be one of the areas that I'm going to be focusing on today. And again, all of this is covered by very comprehensive monitoring and analytics. So in a nutshell, that's what we actually do for our customers. We are, by quite a long way now, the world's largest marine procurement platform. We have 200 of the world's biggest leading shipping companies. We have 64,000 connected suppliers. And those 200 companies, they don't just occasionally use ShipServ. When we sign up a buyer company, they typically put 73% of their spend immediately through our platform. And at the current run rate, we're looking at about $3 billion worth of annual trade running through the platform. Global coverage, 24/7 support, headquartered in London, regional sales and service centres in the US in New Jersey, Copenhagen, Singapore, and Hong Kong. A lot of our development and our 24/7 support is run out of Manila. I'm sure you'll recognise most, if not all, of the names on this list. So this is a list of some of our key customers. And you can see by this slide that we have pretty good penetration across all the major sectors of marine by vessel type, particularly LNG and container. All right, that was my very brief corporate intro. So let's get on to the meat. So supplier transaction efficiency. Now, what is our vision for suppliers when it comes to transaction efficiency? First of all, ShipServ will provide a one-stop shop to digitize all inbound and outbound transactions. So this will provide you with seamless digital connection with all customers to eliminate all manual work. And quite importantly, transactions will flow into and out of your own system. So your staff, your teams will only use the system that you have. So combined, this will provide you with a real transaction efficiency solution. So let me sort of take you through how that would actually work. So the first thing that you do is ideally, but not necessarily, you integrate your systems with the ShipServ platform. So the buyers that are currently on ShipServ will be sending their RFQs, their POs, and other documents through that integration directly into the internal system. It's your internal system. You will then quote or issue order confirmations, and then they will go back into the buyer system. So this is what ShipServ has been doing for a very long time. Of course, you don't necessarily need to integrate. You can also use our Smart Supplier application and its import-export features, as thousands of customers actually do. Okay, so basically what you're getting here now is transactional efficiency, but only really with those buyers that are on the ShipServ platform. So that raises the question of what do you do with all those buyers that are not on the ShipServ platform? Okay, so those that might have direct EDI connections with you, that might be using web portals, that might be sending you Excel forms or PDFs and so on. Okay. So to tackle this group of customers, we're introducing a new product, or have just launched it in fact yesterday, a new product which is called BuyerConnect. Now what this tool does is it can take initially Excel forms and PDFs, it can then convert them automatically into a standardized format, pass that through into your integration, and then pass that through into your internal system. You can then respond with your quote or order confirmation as normal, and then what the system does through an outbound translation is render that back into precisely the format that the buyer was expecting. Okay, so if they're expecting a PDF in response, that is what they get. If they expect an Excel form which has been populated in response, that is what they get. If they are using a portal, that portal would be automatically populated by our systems. Okay? All right. So let's dig down a little bit deeper. How does that really work? So the first thing that the supplier would do would be to advise us of a buyer that they would like to onboard onto this system, and essentially that means they give us a sample of that buyer's documents, PDFs, Excels, or a link to their portal. And then what we do is we build a translator for that specific buyer format. When that is then online, the buyer then creates their RFQ or PO, they send that to the supplier then forwards that to our service. We then extract the data and feed that into the integration. The RFQ or the PO appears in your system in the normal way, as if it had been keyed in manually. You can then quote confirm as normal. We then render it back using the reverse of the translator, and then the buyer receives exactly what they were expecting in response. So this is illustrated quite nicely, quite visually here. So what you can see here is this is an Excel form that a lot of suppliers are receiving from their buyer customers. And what you can see is how we actually map all the different individual elements of that Excel form through into a standardized format. And this is how it appears within the ShipServ system. But of course, you would be seeing it within your own system. Okay. Now, so that is the first piece of the puzzle, so BuyerConnect. That is available now. Now, the next thing that we're working on is what do you do when the data that is coming in from your buyers is dirty, okay? It doesn't match your internal systems. It doesn't match your internal catalogs and so on, okay? So for that, we are working on a new data cleaning tool set. Okay, so what would happen here is all documents coming in from the buyers or having been translated coming in from the ShipServ buyers or from the non-ShipServ buyers comes through into the data cleaning tool set that automatically cleans that document and then passes it through the integration. So now what's coming in is very clean data with the right part numbers, the right specifications, and so on. Okay, sounds magic, doesn't it? Let me take you through a little bit about how that would actually work. Okay, so the first thing here is that the buyer sends through the RFQ. Now what will happen is that comes into our system, and the first thing the system does via access to your own internal catalogs would immediately try to map as closely as possible the items on the RFQ to the items on the catalog. Okay, that's quite straightforward. Where it starts to get quite clever is when we start to use previously used mappings. Okay, so what has happened in the past is when you have received that item from that buyer, or from any buyer for that matter, one of your staff would have previously cleaned that data, and our system would pick up that clean link, and then would reuse that or suggest that link again in order to clean that data. Now, what we have on ShipServ right now is 17 years of data cleaning exercises, of data cleaned links, okay, where the buyer has sent in dirty data, the supplier has cleaned it, and then respond with clean data. And our system can reuse that immense amount of data to automatically clean incoming RFQs or orders. So once the incoming RFQ has then been mapped to the correct items, that is now a clean RFQ, and then that can be passed seamlessly through the integration into your system. Now, Beyond that is where we start to look into the use of supplier APIs, where what we really ultimately want to get to is automatic quote creation. So the RFQ can come in in any format, via ShipServ or via PDF or anything. It can be automatically cleaned. And if our system, if your system provides price and availability APIs, our system can consume those APIs to automatically populate price and lead time on the quotes that you issue. So all you would need to do as a supplier is to approve that quote before it goes out. And that reduces a huge amount of manual work within the quoting process and would allow you to deal with far more incoming RFQs than you can currently do so with the same number of staff.